Liz Truss will be sworn in by the Queen, formally replacing Boris Johnson as the UK Prime Minister. For more, joining us live is Tim Harcourt, Professor and Chief Economist at UTS and host of the Airport Economist. Tim, good to see you as always. Thank you for your time. What's your take on Liz Truss? Do you expect her to be a Prime Minister who behaves as an ideologue or a pragmatist?
Well, very pragmatic in her own career. She started off in a very left-wing sort of C&D family, was a member of the Liberal Democrats, and then a very wet Tory. She was actually a Remainer in the referendum, but she's managed to shift where she can get support. And you could see by the ballot, part of it's with MPs, part of it's with the Tory party rank and file, and she did very well in the rank and file vote. It was closer than past votes, but she had a good, comfortable majority. So she's clearly worked her positions, very carefully to appeal to the Conservative constituency.
And so what now lies ahead for her in terms of challenges? Obviously, we know the post-Brexit world has been a bit messy for the UK. It's one way of putting it anyway. There's the cost of living and energy issues that so many countries, including here, are dealing with, but they've got the Scotland issue, immigration problems as well. There's plenty on her plate.
No, you're right, Ash. I mean, she's got all the issues we have here, such as the cost of living and the general state of the UK economy, which is struggling a lot more than us. Plus, you've got the soaring price of energy in the UK. There's the issue with the union, particularly with Scotland. She did say in her speech that Boris was as popular from Kiev to Carlisle. Now, Carlisle is in the north of England. It doesn't quite go to Scotland. So, to make that sort of speech, suggests that there's going to be some issues with Scotland. And then they've had transport logistics issues on the border post-Brexit that's caused some anxiety for workers and for businesses in Britain. And of course, they've had industrial issues with rail, which has gone quite badly for the government. So she's going to have a lot to do once she hits the ground running.
And in terms of our position here in Australia, should we just expect it will be business as usual with the UK under a new leader?
Well, I think, Ash, the good thing is that, she did deal a lot with trade and the FTA negotiations. She has a good relationship with Dan Tehan, the previous Trade Minister in the Morrison government. She's reached out to the new Australian government, Don Farrell, the new Trade Minister. So I think the foreign policy won't change, and she is familiar with Australia, having gone through those trade negotiations with the FTA with the previous government. So she's, Australia's top of mind because it's very fresh in her dealings with her previous portfolio. So I think that that's definitely a plus for us.
And in terms of domestic politics in the UK, just how well led are the opposition there? Do you think that Keir Starmer will fare a whole lot better against Truss than he did against Boris Johnson?
It's hard to know, isn't it? I mean, on paper, Keir Starmer, looks a leader from central casting. He's a very distinguished head of the Department of Public Prosecutions with a high profile as a barrister, has a traditional Labor background as a son of a toolmaker in London, but there's something quite stiff in his presentation. And there's always a factor X in politics that we don't always pick up until someone's the leader. And I noticed that in the campaign, Liz Truss was quite careful to be very much part of the people, and the Chancellor was a very serious person, but quite formal. So I think she'll keep that going, given that the opponent she's got. But you never really know until someone gets incumbency to see how they'll fare. And, of course, having incumbency is an advantage that you don't see before their leader.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if her campaigning style changes significantly when it's not a member of her own party that she's up against. Tim Harcourt, always appreciate your analysis. Thanks so much for joining us.